Imagine going home for a funeral and realizing that the dead girl might actually be trying to kill you from beyond the grave. Welcome to Summertime Rendering. Our protagonist is Shinpei Ajiro, a guy with two different colored eyes and a very bad week ahead of him. He returns to his tiny home island, Hitogashima, for the funeral of his childhood friend and crush, Ushio, who supposedly drowned saving a little girl. As soon as Shinpei steps off the ferry, the vibes are rancid. His childhood friend Mio, Ushio's sister, is acting strange. The island's doctor is acting shady, and then there's the shadow disease. Local legend says if you see a shadow, which is a perfect copy of yourself, that is a death sentence. You will be erased, and the shadow will take your place in society. Shinpei thinks it's superstitious nonsense until he hears that Ushio has strangulation marks on her neck. She didn't drown, she was murdered. While investigating in the woods, Shinpei and Mio find the real Shiori, but it's actually a shadow. Then, a shadow Mio appearing from the bush and executes them both. Shinpei dies. The screen goes black, and then he wakes up on the ferry. Wait, what? What just happened? Let's actually break this down, because this isn't your typical Groundhog Day. Shinpei possesses the mother's right eye. This blue eye allows him to transcend timelines, but it isn't an infinite cheat code. Every time Shinpei dies, the start point of the loop moves forward. Think of it like a video game where the save point is slowly being deleted from behind you. If the start point moves past the moment of a friend's death, that person is gone forever across all future timelines. This creates a crushing sense of urgency. He can't just try again 1,000 times. He has a limited number of lives before the shadows win permanently. Furthermore, the shadows aren't just clones, they are data-based organisms. They scan a human with a flash of light, absorbing their memories, DNA, and even their clothes. The original human is then turned into sludge and deleted. The only way to kill a shadow is to strike its true body, which is the literal shadow on the ground. If you step on or stab the shadow, the physical clone dies instantly. Shinpei realized he needs a heavy hitter, and he finds one in Hizuru Minakata. She's a famous novelist who returned to the island under the pen name Ryunosuke Nagumo. Hizuru is arguably the coolest character in the show. 14 years ago, her twin brother Ryunosuke was killed by shadows in the mountains. But here's the twist. Ryunosuke's data was partially absorbed into Hizuru. She now has a split personality. When she ties her hair back, Ryunosuke takes over. Because Ryunosuke is technically a partial shadow living in a human brain, he can predict shadow movements and has superhuman strength. Together, Shinpei and Hizuru start a tactical counterinsurgency. They recruit Nezu, an old hunter with a sniper rifle who has been hunting shadows in secret for decades. During one of the loops, a miracle happens. A shadow of the deceased Ushio appears, but because the real Ushio has such a strong will, her shadow glitched. She kept her original personality and memories. She doesn't want to kill, she wants to save her family. Shadow Ushio is the team's technical support. Her hair can act as a hacking tool, allowing her to rewrite the data of other shadows, or even heal Shinpei. This leads to some of the most heartbreaking scenes in the series, as the real Mio has to deal with the fact that her dead sister is back, but she's technically one of the monsters they are fighting. We see them clear out a shadow nest in an old clinic, and this is where we realize the shadows have a hierarchy. They aren't just mindless killers, they are an organized army led by a mother. This middle section of the story is a game of cat and mouse. The villains, led by the shadow mother Haine and her guardian Shide, start to realize that Shinpei can loop. Shide begins leaving traps across timelines. He starts killing people specifically to move the save point and force Shinpei into corners where he has to choose between saving a friend or saving the island. Let's talk about the true MVP of villains, Shide. For most of the show, he's a four-armed monster in obsidian armor, but the truth is way more disgusting. Shide is actually the shadow version of Masahito Karikiri, the island's priest, but he's also the original Masahito from 300 years ago. He's been using Heine's power to copy his consciousness into new bodies for centuries, effectively becoming immortal. But Shide is bored. He has lived too long. His goal isn't just to rule, it's to trigger an event that will consume all of humanity so he can be the last observer at the end of the world. He's a nihilist with a god complex. In a massive twist, we learn that Shide is actually the one manipulating Heine. The mother is just a traumatized girl he's been using as a battery for 300 years. The finale takes place during the summer festival. The Shadows plan to sacrifice everyone on the island to reboot Heine and Shide. Shinpei and the crew descend into the womb of the island, a cave system that leads to a higher dimension of pure data. Hizuru makes the ultimate sacrifice, allowing Ryunosuke to leave her body and merge with Shinpei, giving our protagonist the combat skills he needs for the final showdown. The fight with Shide is insane. It spans across multiple dimensions and memories. In the final moments, Shadow Ushio manages to hack the source code of the Shadows. She realizes that in order to win, they have to stop the infection from ever starting. As the world dissolves, she sends a message 300 years into the past, effectively deleting the Mother Shadow before she ever reached the island. The timeline is rewritten. Shinpei wakes up on the ferry, no shadows, no deaths. Hizuru's brother is alive, Ushio is alive. It's a perfect world, but the cost was the memories of the journey. Except, as Shinpei and Ushio reunite on the beach, they share a moment of recognition. The bond survived the reset. And that is the story of Summertime Rendering. A perfect loop, a perfect mystery, and a reminder to always check your shadow. Thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.